Near the end of the election season in 2016, I saw interviews with members of Black Lives Matter movement, frustrated and disenfranchised with voting. They didn't believe the federal government was doing as much as it should, while many were Bernie supporters who were ticked that he didn't win. Well, I hate to tell you this, but Bernie would have been able to do only exactly the amount that the Obama and the potential Clinton administration could do. That is because of something known as states' rights. States' rights is often used as an abused argument by the right to maintain problems and systemic racism, but states' rights are clearly stated in the Constitution. States and local governments hire, fire, and regulate their police force, as well as prosecutors, and paying for their public defenders. The federal government can only step in the worst cases, but even then they can't do much to fight systemic racism when the racist state or local government is fighting tooth and nail. If you only vote in presidential elections and expect things to change, then black lives really don't matter that much to you, or you're grossly misinformed on who is responsible for defending and maintaining police violence and discrimination. In this particular case, ignore the federal level election. You can deal with this on a state and local level. Visit city council meetings and neighborhood organizing meetings. Find your local politicians' views on police brutality and de-escalation. If nothing else, during the process, you will learn the mindset of those trying to nudge the gears and levers of local power to change things for better activism. Actively work to get the vote out in midterm elections. If blacks and their allies become reliable voters in midterm elections, then, in many areas, police brutality will drop because the local politicians would know that they have to keep them happy to stay in power, instead of only scared white people who are reliable voters in midterms. So their concerns are only what they focus on. If you have a state or local election this year, get involved and try and get as many people you can out, no matter how small or boring that election may seem. The lives and livelihoods of African Americans are on the line here. Do it! So thank you so much for joining me on my podcast. I'm sure there was nothing controversial about this, and everyone will happily get along in the comments section, which you can do on the YouTube version of this video, or my Facebook page, After School Democracy. Link in the show notes. Just a reminder that I'm Anubis2814 on YouTube, and I have over 500 videos on different topics that I've made over the past 10 years. Please subscribe, and if your podcast site has the option, give me a like or review. If you think what I have to say informed you, consider supporting my Patreon. I'll be doing this podcast weekly and try to get it out on the same day, so I hope to see you here next week, ready to be filled with new ideas. Take care. This channel is helped tremendously by the generous supporters on Patreon. A big thank you to the wonderful Joe Taylor, Elias Garcia Guevara, and Ogrel for their support at the $10 a month Wapawet level. Please consider donating to my work if you can, and thank you all for listening.